Welcome to podcasts recorded live at the Center for Spiritual Living in Portland, Oregon. We have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its video podcasts, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.
Thank you, our Friends Band, for that lovely intro. Good morning, and welcome to the Portland Center for Spiritual Living and to our Facebook Live service. We are a Science of Mind community that teaches spiritual principles to transform your life and to make the world a better place. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. All we ask is that you stay open to the possibility of changing your entire life simply by changing your mind. My name is Sandy Liebold, and I serve as one of the licensed practitioners on our center's ecclesiastical team. It's my honor to welcome you here this morning. I invite you to find out more about us on our website at cslportland.org. Under the About Us menu tab, you'll find a lot of information about who we are, what we stand for, and how we might serve you. The website also contains details about the various activities at the center, and you can sign up there for various subscriptions, email subscriptions. Again, from the homepage, scroll down, and on the right-hand side, there's a space where you can sign up. Our subscription options include a weekly email listing of our events and services, our free program, which is entitled 365 Earnest Homes. In this, you'll get a daily message in your inbox, which is features an affirmation from Ernest Holmes, as well as a lovely background picture and some reflective material that our very own Reverend Lauri King has put together. The other great thing you can sign up for is you can enter your birthday and receive an e-card and a gift on your birthday. So I invite you to take advantage of all those offerings that we have. Right now, I'd like to give a few announcements about some things that are going on. As you know, you found us on Facebook Live, and we are on Facebook Live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Right now, through October, we do remain closed here in the sanctuary in an abundance of caution, as they like to say, just to keep everyone especially safe. And our recorded services are also presented on YouTube and via the audio podcast, which you can get from our website. Each Wednesday night, we offer a Wednesday night meditation. This is on Zoom at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And this week, a licensed practitioner, Sylvia Kearns, is leading a meditation entitled Fall into Peace. Each Friday, we have a program which is called Lunch with Reverend Lauri. It starts at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, again on Zoom. You can bring your lunch if you like, but the great thing is you get an opportunity to ask questions, just get to know Reverend Lauri better, and talk with other congregants who have another way to just kind of share with each other. We also offer online Zoom groups for our Social Justice Book Club and our 12-step program for women. Both of these are facilitated by licensed practitioner Nancy Ashley, and again, there are details on the website. We've already started our fall connection circles, but it's not actually too late to sign up for at least 3 of those sessions. We still have openings in our circles on Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, and on Friday morning. These virtual circles are a great way to go deeper about the things that we hear in our Sunday messages, meet with like-minded people online in an informal basis, and just have an opportunity to really grow spiritually in community. You can again sign up for those on our website. I want to give a particular shout out for something that's happening next week. Next Sunday happens to be the 31st of October, which is Halloween. And Reverend Lauri and I are actually collaborating on an online Halloween party. So that will start at 12:30 Pacific time. We're going to have trivia and storytelling and fun games. You are more than welcome to come in costume. You don't have to come in costume if you're not a costume person. But anyway, details again are on our website, and we expect to have a lot of fun, so please come join us. And I'd also like to ask Reverend Lauri now to come up and tell a little bit about our educational offerings.
Ouch. Yikes, I just about strangled myself. My tether caught on the chair. Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. Actually, can I say a little bit more about Halloween?
Of course.
Well, of course.
You're the senior minister. You can do what you want.
Well, of course, Sandy and I are going to be in costume, and part of I think the pleasure of our party is going to be that you get to guess what my costume is. So I'll be wearing it next Sunday for the service, and then we'll be checking in during the party about who can guess who I am. But I'll give you a hint. If you don't show up at the party, I'm going to be hopping mad.
Aha. I think there's a pun in there somewhere.
Just a hint, But on to educational offerings. Yeah, we have 3 things you can sign up for. I got to tell you, though, it's the very last call for one of them. This Tuesday night, I start teaching spiritual principles and practices. So literally, today would be your last chance to sign up, and we'll get you the emails and the Zoom links to get started. That class runs for 5 weeks. It starts this Tuesday. It's 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. in the evening. We'll be learning about the basic spiritual principles and practices of the science of mind, and this sort of replaces the old foundations class. So if you'd like a brush up, maybe it's been a while since you had that introductory class. We're taking both new students and people who want to just get a brush up on that. But please go to our website, cslportland.org. There's a button for classes and workshops. You'd need to register for that one today. Also, later in the year, on November 13th, Reverend Marilyn Sprague is teaching a one-day workshop on the power of forgiveness, walking in the light of love. She says forgiveness is letting go of the burden of the past. It's the power to release anything that keeps us bound to people and circumstances of past negative experiences. It frees us from hurts and resentment and allows us to step into the light of love available in the now moment. You won't want to miss that one. And then finally, we just added one. This one is Sunday afternoon starting November 7th from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m., so Sunday afternoons. It's called Coping with Grief. It's being taught by Ann Forrest Burns, a licensed practitioner, and it's put on in collaboration with the Amazing Grace Center up in Washington. So we're doing a cross-church collaboration here. So Ann Forrest Burns says, grief is one of life's great teachers. It comes to us in many forms, especially in these pandemic times. Having company can help us to examine grief's lessons and its gifts. Join end-of-life coach and licensed practitioner Ann Forrest Burns in this 6-week exploration of how coping with grief openly and compassionately frees us to a richer life. So I hope to see one of you. I hope to see you in one or more of these classes. Of course, we're depending on them for Halloween, right?
Absolutely.
I don't even know what your costume is yet.
I'm not telling.
Oh, fine. All right.
Thank you, Reverend Larry. Once again, our flowers today are courtesy of Kat Jacobs, who is a faithful flower provider for our community. We're so grateful for that. And today, our special music is provided by Lauri Jones, with additional music by our Friends Band. Today, Reverend Larry will be providing the message. It's entitled, Kindness is King. And of course, Reverend Larry King is giving that talk. Who is a very kind guy, by the way. Anyway, so please now sit back and relax, because I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, and the message is exactly what your heart came here to receive.
It is not I, but the Spirit within, who does these things. I see before me. It is not I, but the Spirit within, glory to God. Oh, glory to God. It is not I, but the Spirit within, who does these things. I see before me. It is not I, but the Spirit within. Oh, glory to God. Oh, glory to God. It is not I, but the Spirit within, who does these things. I see before me. It is not I, but the Spirit within. Oh, glory to God. Oh, glory to God.
And so now I invite you to anchor this time together in prayer. How good it is to be reminded in this moment of the glory that is God. There is one power, there is one presence, there is one life, there is one love, one divine energy, one essence. It is this power, this presence that I call God, I call Spirit, and I know that it is everywhere present, everywhere present. It is in every circumstance, it is every person, every place. It is the truth of what and who we are here on this planet. And I know that this Spirit, this God, is one of love, it is one of wisdom, it is one of compassion, it is one of truth, it is one of justice, it is one of caring and compassion. And as I know that this is true and that I am one with this energy, because there is no place where God is not, I know that I am part of this and it is part of me. I am a divine emanation of this one, of this oneness, and so is each and every one of us. We are expressions of this divine unity, of this divine love, of this divine compassion. And so for today, I speak a word of this love which is love for others and love for ourselves, this compassion that is for ourselves and for others, this kindness that is for ourselves and for others. This is part of our just very beingness as spiritual beings having a human experience. And because I know that this is true, it's true because there is no difference between me and you. When I'm kind to me, I'm kind to you. When I love myself, I love you. When I'm compassionate with myself, I'm compassionate with you, and vice versa. And so today I lean into this knowledge, into this belief, into this knowing. And from this place, I know joy, I know peace, I know happiness, and I know a deep connection to the divine. I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for this connection, for this knowledge. And I know that this prayer is even right now being answered by the divine, which always answers each prayer with a resounding yes. And for this, I'm grateful, and I just let it be. Thanks be, blessed be, and together we say, and so it is. And now I invite you just to stay in this place of peace and centeredness and joy as we go into a period of silent meditation.
We are all angels who only have one wing. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. Do you know there are angels in our midst? Can you hear them? And can you feel them? They're all around you, with you every day. Do you see them, or do you look the other way? It's that man that I forgot to kiss as I hurried out the door, or that stranger that said hello that I ignored. They are angels. We are angels. We are all angels who only have one wing. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. My life gets so busy, time goes by so fast. I rush through the day, trying to make each moment last. But when I take the time to look around and see sweet angels that are smiling back at me, everywhere at any time I need to open up my eyes and see the beauty that surrounds me. And now I realize we are angels. We are angels. We are angels who only have one wing. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. Oh, we need each other to fly. We need each other to fly. Oh, we need each other to fly. We need each other.
Lauri Jones, you sprung a song I hadn't heard on before. That was lovely. Thank you so much. What a pleasure to always have you with us. And the band today, that prelude music. I think we ought to start the prelude music like an hour early on Sundays. They just blanched, but what a treat. Thank you, guys. Well, happy Sunday, everyone. As you know, in lieu of a traditional pledge program this month, we're using Julia Cameron's book, The Prosperous Heart, to really engage all of us in prosperity thinking. And I'm sure you've noticed that her take on things is a little different. It isn't just about using the law of attraction to sort of make money or make stuff or draw more things into our life. Her theory is that this has more to do with our heart than our head. Her theory is that when our heart is open, when we have that prosperous heart, all good things come to us, whether it is economic security, whether it's love, whether it's life, whether it's good health, that truly as our heart opens, we're ready to receive the good life in all of its many forms. Well, so far this month, we've dispelled some myths about prosperity and money. We've also redefined prosperity as a feeling of sufficiency and security. So it's not a number. It's not some magical number that would allow you to retire or buy a new house or go on vacation. It's really the feelings of sufficiency and security that those things might bring to you. But what I do know is that the feelings of safety, of security, of sufficiency, of being loved, we can get those without money, right? It's a matter of reorienting the way that we think about our world, the way that we think about ourselves. We've also last week talked about the idea of if we want anything more in our lives, we have to make room for it, right? The kinds of clutters and excesses that we have floating around in our life, whether it be literal clutter or whether it be mental clutter, those cause confusion. Those cause a lack of, a loss of energy and a loss of focus. So also, in order to receive more in our life, whether it's love, whether it's abundance, we have to declutter our world. Well, today we're going to learn to focus on a new tool to help us to be more prosperous. Now, if Julia Cameron's definition is a feeling of sufficiency and security, the chapter this week really tells us another way that we can approach this completely. And it's a way that you might be quite familiar with. And I know once I start talking about it, you're going to think that I'm talking about the idea of circulation, the idea of giving and receiving. But you know what? It's actually simpler than that. It's just being kind. There's a whole chapter on simply being kind to one another. And I want to anchor this back in terms of Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind. I want to plug this idea of kindness right into the midst of our Science of Mind principles. Ernest Holmes, in his book Creative Living, says this: "So true givingness is the transmitting of the self to everything that we do. It does not matter what it is, it's the outpouring of ourselves into every undertaking with an enthusiastic zest, love, and particularly kindness." So this idea of giving of ourselves is the height of kindness if you think about it. Sure, we can give gifts, we can give things to one another, but have you ever really thought of the kind of gifts that you receive that really touch your heart? More often, they embody an act of kindness. It may come with a thing. It might come with a greeting card. It might come with some activity that helped you or moved you along. But I think we all recognize it's the motivation behind it. It's really the gift of the giver paying attention to us, listening to us, being with us that is often more important than the gift itself. I think, though, where I actually want to start today is just talking about kindness in its more universal sense. Have you ever thought about Spirit or God or the universe being kind? Let me go over some of the ideas in terms of kindness for the universe itself. First of all, the universe is always sufficient in the moment. It's an infinite storehouse of good, and it's always open, right? There's always love to be had in the universe. There's always sweetness to be had. There's always a beautiful sunset. There's always a sufficiency of air. There are always so many of the things that you want and that you desire, and the universe just gives them freely. We don't every day have to do something to know that the water is going to be clean or that the air will be sufficient to breathe, right? Every day, Spirit gives and gives and gives through that sufficiency of the universe, that infinite storehouse. But also, God is always present to guide and direct. Have you thought about that? I know oftentimes we're so busy, we don't take the time to go into meditation. We don't take that time to be reflective in that way. But it doesn't mean that Spirit isn't willing. Any time of the day or night when you would like to check in, when you would like to engage your intuition with your higher power, and perhaps have some guidance, have some thoughtful introspection, that ability is there for you. It's a true kindness of the universe. Have you also thought that the universe always responds to our thinking? One of the basic tenets of science of mind is that our thoughts produce things, that the general tenor, the general idea of our thinking and our belief system, that will outpicture in the world. Have you thought that we don't have to do anything to keep that working? We don't have to pay a monthly due for the law of cause and effect to keep working. Do you know what I mean? It's just there. It's a spiritual principle that we can count on day in, day out. What a blessing, what a kindness that the universe provides, something that we can count on. Another one, I was talking earlier about a forgiveness workshop that's coming up in a couple of months. Have you thought, though, about God's forgiveness? With people, oftentimes there's some negotiation involved, right? With people, whether we're in a 12-step program and we're working on some forgiveness issues, or whether we're just trying in our hearts to forgive someone who has done us wrong. There's usually a negotiation that takes place. There's usually something that has to happen in you so that your heart can open towards forgiveness, not Spirit. The instant that you change your patterns of thoughts and behaviors, you are instantly forgiven. You're given a complete new chance to have a new life, a different life, no strings attached. Spirit never ever holds a grudge. The instant you change your mind into more positive ways of being, the moment you switch your actions up so that you're more of a blessing and less of a hindrance in the world, instantly you are forgiven. Instantly that law of cause and effect brings about something more positive, something more blessing. You don't have to beg for it. You don't have to ask for it. It simply is. Well, Julia Cameron's thesis in this particular chapter is that the more we act on behalf of Spirit, the more, what do I want to say? The more consistently, the more positively we do what Spirit does in the world, the more that God can do forgiveness through us, the more that God can do acts of kindness through us, the more that God can give to the universe through us, the more we will feel those blessings ourselves. And let me read just for a short quote from the book here to illustrate what she has to say. She says, "The prosperous heart derives sustenance from God's abundance. This makes it easy to be kind to others. As we are kind to others, we enable God to act through us. We become a channel for loving kindness. And serving others with love, we serve our Creator and we serve ourselves. Sharing our love, our kindness in large and small ways will always bring us delight." And so this is one of those acts of kindness that not only is outwardly directed, but when we are kind for others, it also opens our heart further to receive ourselves. I brought something I want to read with you today. You know, normally I do a joke, and I found this in a selection of humor, but really it's an endearing story that I just want to share with you. So this is written from a gentleman who was interested in becoming a cartoonist. So he says, "In January of 1986, I was flipping through the channels on TV, and I saw the closing credits for a PBS television show called Funny Business, a show about cartooning. I'd always wanted to be a cartoonist, but I never knew how to go about it. And so I wrote to the host of the show, a cartoonist named Jack Cassidy, and I asked for his advice on entering the profession. Well, a few weeks later, I got an encouraging handwritten letter from Jack. It answered many of my specific questions about materials, about the process, and he went on to warn me about the likelihood of being rejected at first. He advised me not to get discouraged if that happened. He said that the cartoon samples that I had sent him were actually good. They were worthy of publication. Well, I was very excited. I finally understood how the whole process worked, and so I submitted my best cartoons to Playboy magazine and the New Yorker. Well, the magazines quickly rejected me. They rejected me with cold little photocopied form letters. Discouraged, I put my art supplies in the closet, and I decided to forget about cartooning. Well, in June of 1987, completely out of the blue, I got a second letter from Jack Cassidy. Now, this was surprising. I had never even thanked him for the original note and advice, but here's what his letter said. "Dear Scott, I was reviewing my Funny Business fan mail when I again ran across your letter and copies of your cartoons. I remembered answering your letter. The reason I'm dropping you this note is to again encourage you to submit ideas to various publications. I hope you've already done so, and I hope you're on the road to making a few bucks, but more importantly, having some fun. Sometimes encouragement in the funny business of graphic humor is hard to come by, and that's why I'm encouraging you to hang in there and keep drawing. I wish you lots of luck and good drawing. Sincerely, Jack." Well, I was profoundly touched by his letter, largely because I think Jack had nothing to gain, including my thanks. I'd never thanked him for the first letter. Well, I acted on his encouragement. I dragged my art supplies out of cold storage, and I inked the sample strips that you know as Dilbert. Have you thought about what a few words of kindness and encouragement can do in the world? So often just noticing and listening to people is the highest and the most needed form of giving. You know, usually during the holidays, I look up, just for fun, the most appreciated gifts. And you'll probably get that talk in another couple months, because every year, you know, it's Cabbage Patch Dolls one year, and it's iPods and iPads another year. But one thing that through it that consistently comes out, especially that teenagers would like to have from their parents, is quality time. And they go on to actually define what a quality time means to a teenager, and it means having their parents sit down with them and be interested in their lives. not to get stuff and not just to show up at basketball practice, but to actually ask them about basketball practice. Ask them about their relationships at school. Be interested in their studies, right? Not just in whether the grades are what they need to be, not just whether they're on the honor roll, but what reading a certain piece of literature meant to them in English class, or what the new coach means to them on the rally squad. Actually paying attention, actively listening, encouraging someone is almost always the greatest gift that you can give. And there are a variety of ways of doing that. Have you ever thought that just learning someone's name says that you care about them? How many times in your life have you met the same person over and over again and you've never even learned their name? It could be the person in the back of the room running sound at a small church in Portland, Oregon, right? It could be the person at Starbucks that every morning on your way, it seems to be that same person that gives me my coffee. It could be the checker at your favorite supermarket that often you will say hello to, but have you ever just acknowledged them by name or said just a few words of kindness to them? Another way that we're kind to other people is finding community. Oftentimes, especially these days during the pandemic, we find ourselves isolating in ways. And what I do know is that where two or more are gathered together, Spirit is right there. That sense of kindness, that sense of participation, that sense of sharing something more than just yourself is present. And whether you do it on Zoom, whether you're on Facebook Live, whether you've found some other electronic way of doing it, or whether you're simply safe, you're masked up and ready to meet the world, what I do know is that we cannot explore this idea of kindness in a vacuum. And when we come together, whether it's in a spiritual community or whether it's a book club, whether it's some way of sharing your particular values, you'll remember 2 weeks ago we talked about values, and in the expression of our values, we get a lot of pleasure. It opens our heart and we're ready to receive more. What better way to do that is interacting with people who share that particular value with you. So a hiking club, to be out in nature, practicing basketball with people who enjoy that, a cooking club, or an online book study. These are all ways that you can plug in with other people, practice your kindness, and at the same time, share your values with other people. Truly a heart-opening exercise. And when our hearts open, the riches of the universe flood in. Whether it's love, whether it's joy, whether it's peace, whether it's that sense of beauty, whether it's financial abundance of some kind, it is when we're in that open-hearted position that all good things can come to us. So I think we've covered this idea of being kind to others well enough. There's another form of kindness that's as important, and it might be more important. Are you kind to yourself? My observation is that people are harshest on themselves, that I will even hear people out loud say negative things to themselves and about themselves that they would never dream of saying to a loved one. Things that they would probably never even dream of saying to a stranger. And yet here, out of their mouth comes things like, you stupid idiot, when are you going to get a clue? Or you're never going to get that job. I hear people saying things like, well, marriage is just so hard that I don't think I'm up to it. I just don't think that I'm strong enough to do the things I need to do, or capable enough, or lovable enough, or whatever it is. Truly, really hard on themselves. And I'm here to tell you, when you do that, you are clamping your heart down. You will not only make it hard for yourself to succeed. Now here's a basic idea of science of mind, right? What we say tends to become true in our lives. So if often enough you report that you're not smart enough to get through life, I got to tell you, through that own confusion in your own mind, through that own self-belief, you will begin having trouble, and it will get worse, because I know that our thoughts become things. But beyond that, don't you notice that you're just tamping down your own heart when you give yourself a bad time, when you resist the capabilities that you have, when you forget that you are capable and lovable? You are sealing yourself off in a little impenetrable box. Pretty soon, even if people want to reach out to help you, you'll say, no, 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 I don't even deserve your help. And when you are in that state, your world gets smaller and smaller and smaller. The opposite of what we're hoping, right? This month we're talking about expansion. This month we're talking about that ability to be more, to do more, to excel in the world, to be successful, to enjoy life, to be, what is it that Julia Cameron said? To truly have that sense of sufficiency and security. And what I know is if you've shrunken your world down to where you don't believe you deserve anything, you are going to be anything but feeling prosperous. And so I would suggest, and in fact you can probably feel homework coming at you. You knew it was going to be there, right? I would suggest a great place to start this week is in being kind to yourself. And so let me give you the homework, and then we'll get into a summary, and there's a story that I want to share with you. So your homework this week is to list 10 things that you might do or give to others, but also 10 things that you might do or give to yourself. So you're going to have a list of 20 things, 10 things that you might do or give to someone else, and then 10 things that you might do or give to yourself. And then here's the kicker. You have to follow through with at least one in each category. So you actually have to give yourself some kind of a gift. You actually have to give someone else some kind of a gift, or something to bless them and yourself in some way. All right, but let me get back to this being kind to yourself. Here's some questions that you might ask yourself if you're a little low on that idea of self-love and self-regard. Do you offer the same courtesy to yourself that you would offer to others? So, for instance, if you might offer to take someone else out to dinner, if you might offer to take someone else to the movies or to the opera or something like that, would you offer that up to yourself? Do you love yourself enough that you would take yourself out on the date night and you're the date, right? You're not doing it for someone else. Maybe there's a movie you want to watch, no one else in the family is interested in that movie, right? Maybe you really love organized sports and, you can't really afford to get the whole family to go to a Blazers game or something like that. Have you thought of treating yourself? Have you thought of showing how much you value and support yourself? Another one, do you cut yourself slack? Now, I have seen people be so gentle with children, right? The oopsie principle, right? The spilt milk principle. Well, when it's a child, you just go oopsie and you wipe up the milk, right? When it's an adult, and especially when it's yourself, do you just do oopsie and wipe up the milk? Or do you say, you clumsy idiot, right? Do you cut yourself the same slack that you would cut to anyone else on the planet? If the answer is no, it is time to be kind to yourself. We all make mistakes. We're all clumsy now and then. We all do things that we'll regret later on, right? It's the nature of being human. And it's also the nature of human to forgive. It's also the nature of human just to recognize that mistakes are natural and to move on beyond them. Just to get the towel out and mop things up, right? just to undo things as best we can or to make amends in the moment, but not harbor some resentment, not point the finger at yourself as though you have done something terrible. Treat yourself with love. Treat yourself with that enjoyment of life and just say, whoops, there I go again. It's no big deal. And finally, 2 weeks ago, we talked about feeling prosperous when we invest in things that are important to ourselves. When was the last time you invested not only in things that are important to you, but you yourself? When was the last time that you made an investment in yourself personally? When was the last time you signed up for a class? When was the last time that you pampered yourself for a spa day? When was the last time that maybe you did something that you've wanted to do for years and years and have just been putting it off, either because you didn't think you had enough time or you thought it was a frivolous expenditure? When you're making an investment in yourself, it is not a frivolous expenditure. If you want to go back to school, that is a beautiful investment in yourself. You should make it. It's not a foolish expenditure if you are doing something that will nourish your heart and nourish your soul. It's like join that exercise program. Make that commitment. Do the sorts of investments in yourself that you will benefit from. You are worth it. Finally, I want to give an example of something that meant a lot to my own self, a way that I treated myself. So a couple of years ago, I had an opportunity. Many of you know I'm a writer, and bless you, a few of you have bought some of my books. Thank you for that. But I went to a writer's retreat in Wales, and it was the first time really I'd been out of the North American continent. It was a little scary to do international travel, and that was one of the reasons I went with a group. It was all pre-planned and things like that. And then I thought, this might be the only time that I get to the British Isles. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? And so I treated myself to an extra week. And I felt very, what do I want to say? Extravagant in a way, right? It was basically me, and I didn't actually have much of a budget. And so I allowed myself a week of time to explore Scotland. My family comes from Scotland. I had never been there, just heard stories about it. I went completely by myself. I treated myself. And I really had in some ways, the time of a lifetime. It was a time of reflection. It was a time of visiting places that were off the beaten track. It was a time when I wasn't with other people, right? If I wanted to just sit in a museum for 4 hours and look at a Scottish armory, I could do that, right? If I wanted to take one day I just got on the double-decker buses in Edinburgh and just rode the bus all day, right? I would have never been able to do that if my family would have been with me. They would have been, what? We have to get to a castle. We have to, we want to go see where the Harry Potter novels were written, right? It would have been a big planned thing. And instead, I just treated myself where my will wanted to carry me that day. And it was one of the most lovely gifts that I've ever received. Just a week of nothing that was planned, a week where I could just get up in the morning, get out a guidebook or listen to the local news and decide to do what I wanted to do. When was the last time that you have treated yourself? Just you. Just you. So let me summarize today where we've been. We talked about the universe being kind. Have you ever noticed the beauty that's out there? The utter kindness of Spirit to extend the full impact of its universe to us, for us to enjoy the clean air, the fresh water, the beauty that's around us, the storehouse of all good, the open-heartedness of our fellows. Have you really thought about how kind and giving Spirit is? And then we talked about our ability to act on behalf of Spirit, to be kind to others, to extend our hand, to learn people's names, to truly listen and pay attention to people, both people that are in our sphere of influence, but even to strangers. How do we open up the world to more graciousness and kindness? And then finally, we ended up with being kind to ourselves. Do we treat ourselves well? Do we allow that open-heartedness that we might extend to family and friends? Do we allow our heart to remain open when we consider our own actions and thoughts and deeds? If we can do this, truly the heart remains open. We're ready to receive love. If we're going to receive love, it starts right here with ourselves. So just a quick reminder about homework. 10 things that you might do or give to others, 10 things that you might do for or give to yourself, and then you're going to follow through on one in each category. At a minimum, of course, you're free. Go for it, right? See if you can get maybe 4 or 5 of them done in each category. So let me close with a short quote from the book and a prayer. This is how she ends this chapter on kindness. She says, "The prosperous heart is never stingy. It relaxes into the moment at hand, and it recognizes that it is a gift to both give and to take. It allows others their generous impulses." Let us pray. There is one power. There is this one presence. There's this one life and this one love, and it is so giving. It gives the universe to each and every one of us, and I know that means me. And I know my heart is open to receive the blessings of the universe as it gives so freely. Open to hold a special place for myself also with love and delight, and doing those little favors, those little blessings, those little kindnesses, not only out into the world, but to myself as well. And as it is true for me, I know without question that it is true for everyone, that as each of us embraces this idea of kindness to self and others, our heart majestically opens to give and to receive, to be both the blessing and the blessed, to reach out our hands in love and encouragement, to reach out in ways that absolutely reach back to us as we both give and take to this universe through our actions, through our words, through our small kindnesses. And I give thanks for this. I give thanks in knowing that God keeps giving and that each of us passes along that gift to others. And in gratitude, I release this prayer into the activity and into the action of the Lord self. I let it be. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you so very much. And now is our time of conscious giving. And I do want to read a sweet letter that we received. And let this be a shout out to John. Among other things, he says, I came across the podcast for Portland Center for Spiritual Living, and the icon or thumbnail drew me to it. It's a sweet little picture of people holding hands kind of at a sunset in the beach. It is eye-catching. He says, I began listening to your podcast and was able to relate to what you were saying. Then you made a statement, and I broke down crying one day. You spoke about your partner. I had never heard someone who was like me deliver the message of God on Sunday. I just want to remind you all, often on Sunday during the announcements, we say that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. I also want you to know that whoever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. Would you like to come up and bless us with another song? Thanks.
get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Come on, baby. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, hey, hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody. Here we go. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was fun. Thank you, guys. A couple reminders before we close today. First of all, thank you so much for your kind gifts. You know, one of the things that would truly help us out right now, typically in October we do our pledge program, and in lieu of that this year, we're asking you to consider making an ongoing gift. I want to thank so many of you for going to our website at cslportland.org/donate. There's a variety of ways there, of course, that you can make a one-time donation. But also notice that through our payment gateway and through PayPal, you can make an ongoing investment in us. And so do consider perhaps making your pledge on either a weekly or monthly basis. It's very easy to do. You can change it at any time, but consider that. It would be really helpful for us in our budgeting process in November, and it would make a big difference to what we're able to do out in the world. Our broadcasts and podcasts now go out to 115 different countries. About 6,000 people are listening to us every month. If every person even just gave a small monthly donation, it would do wonders for our ability to reach out to even more people. I also want to remind you that we're here for prayer support. If there's something going on in your life and you'd like our team of practitioners and ministers to be praying for you, please consider us on your side. Just go to our website at the bottom of every single page. There's a link for making a prayer request. It's truly our pleasure to pray for you, and it automatically gets mailed out to all of us, and we'll pray for you throughout the week. So please take advantage of that. But I think it's time for our closing song. And thank you so much for being with us today, Lauri.
I am love, I am loving, I am love. I am love, I am loving, I am love. yes, near and far. We are loved, we are loving, we are loved. You are loved, you are loved, you are loving, you are loved. I am loved, I am loving, I am loved.
If you happen to be in the Portland, Oregon area, we'd love to have you visit in person. The Portland Center for Spiritual Living is located at 6211 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. We have inspirational services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Sunday. We also have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. We have a variety of content dedicated specifically for our online listeners. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Our website is also the place to learn more about what's going on at the center or to contact us. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.